Continue when you're ready, warriors. I've been told that the Vikings were renowned not for the skill of the swordsmanship, but for the power of the blows they put in. You'll see people using shields to block the blows. There was a form of dueling in Viking times known as the holmgang. They would agree how many shields each warrior was allowed. So logically, a shield would not last very long against hard blows. Obviously, because we're using blunt weapons, they lasted a little bit longer with us. You'll see some of the warriors making mutual kills. Usually it's because they're getting a bit too tired. We reckon that fighting in a battle would normally be maybe 20 minutes at a stretch. That's about as long as you can expect a warrior to fight hard and non-stop. With a sword, you're talking about an experienced warrior. Therefore, the warriors don't necessarily wade in heavy-handed. They size up their opponent. And we have the problem in the society that we are organised in local groups. Therefore, we tend to get some people who are used to fighting each other because they come from the same group. And generally speaking, they prefer to fight somebody from another group. It's better experience. Down to the last few. I think I'm right in saying that the gentleman with his back to me is the elder member of this remainder. Whether he's more experienced, I'm not sure. He tends to talk his opponent to death, as those of you close enough may realise. Well, he actually distracts them with his chat. Now, chainmail, relatively heavy, will to some extent slow a warrior down. Why would they wear it? Well, it's the early form of armour. It will protect against cuts, but it will not protect particularly against the impact of blows, although it will to some extent. Congratulations, Frecky. Right. I mentioned that the Dane axe was the dreaded weapon 1,000 years ago. What we're going to show you now is the most despised weapon. And for a very good reason. Bow and arrow. Used under normal circumstances for hunting deer, particularly, possibly used for hunting boar. But warriors were often considered to be dishonourable. Why? Because they stood a long way from their opponent They killed from long range. They were not warriors because they didn't stand toe-to-toe with their opponent. Right. Now we've actually moved our warriors round because for safety reasons we need to make sure there's nothing or nobody that can be hit other than our warriors. Now logically you'll see that our Danax warrior is leaving the field. There is no way you can defend yourself against arrows with a Danax. Right, we now have the shield wall, the normal war formation. Now what we've got to do now is to make sure that you cover yourself. If the archer can't see you, he can't hit you. He's only a little one. Oh, it's better. It is actually quite difficult to judge the distance. What you see now is what's known as a shield burr. Obviously it will be used again, not against one warrior, against one archer. It will be used against many archers. You basically completely hide behind a wall of shields. Hopefully somebody will be able to see where the archer is and tell people when the archer comes too close, or warriors other than the archer come too close. But what you've got to make sure of is that nothing is sticking out. A good archer, and I'm not saying this is a good archer, a good archer will see a gap in that shield, that wall of shields, and I can see one or two from here, and will be able to put an arrow through it. You'd also get the situation you also get the situation where a full power bow would actually put a sharp arrow through one of those shields. Now the bows we use are of fairly low poundage. That's the draw weight. The arrows are heavily flighted, so they actually slow down in flight. Now, with a shield wall, heads and feet are exposed. So those are an obvious target for the archer. Look at him, hiding behind a girl. Now this is where the archer has a problem. How fast can he draw an arrow, put it in his bow and loose it? Can he do it fast enough to deter the warriors? Now obviously we're using blunts, and our archers actually tend to shoot for the shield or close to the shield. Like I said, archers are not very popular. Now, in actual fact, archers used biological warfare before it was known as that. They actually dipped their arrows in dung, in the ground, and in rotting corpses, rotting carcasses. They didn't know why, but they knew that the wounds they inflicted, although they might not be fatal immediately, would fester, and usually the person wounded would die within about a week. Slowly and horribly. That is one of the reasons why archers were not liked very much. Right, that, I believe, ends this particular display. But we have immediately... Yeah.